I actually taught students how to think about technology through Wakanda as a lens when I was at Disney. A lot of the work was thinking about, the incredible technology that came out of Wakanda and how students could learn from that.
Like Star Trek. So many
Exactly.
things came out of Star Trek that we have now. So these movies, these storytellers actually provide us a vision of the future.
Completely.
Hi, my name is Erika Alexander, and I'm here with Color Farm Impact, where we know stories shape systems, and we're really excited because we're with the tech we want, and we're going to be talking to a bunch of really cool people and ask them whether and how we set boundaries with tech and AI in our lives. So I'm down for this conversation. Are you? Yeah, you are. Come on, let's do it. What do you think about this time that we're in right now?
I was trained as an attorney, and so it's actually important for me to think about and look at these terms and see how they affect us. Whether it be in our education, in our interactions with these platforms, and how it's going to affect policy. Those things are important. We may not be able to make changes because we don't have the leverage.
Well, see, that's the problem. Yeah. So we can't make changes, and we're opting in just to actually, if you want a ticket to something, you say, oh, darn it, fine, click, and you move on, not knowing what you've given up or opted into and what you've lost or gained.
I spent time at Color of Change back 10 years ago.
I love Color of
And
Change.
we were definitely, the way in which technology was impacting racial justice issues was critical. We were talking to policymakers constantly. We were talking to local activists constantly. I think education and sharing information is so important. For us, even at Picture Motion now, we're working with storytellers who are trying to address issues around AI and technology and really just be able to introduce these terms and these kind of these elements in society to audiences in ways that they have not been informed in the past. Because I don't think we're being fully informed by the creators, by the folks who have deep commercial interests.
Should we be afraid? And is it fear warranted? And if so, why?
I think fear is warranted until we know more. And I think that, like I said, I think in the past we've had technology that has disrupted, different elements, whether it's in film and media, whether it's in policing, whether it's in, military, all these different applications in society. And I think until we have a really clear understanding of the implications on our everyday lives of everyday people, there's fear, I think, that's extremely warranted.
If you have a society that's known to have been, say, racist or gender phobic and all these other things, that's baked into the algorithm. Let's just be real. Even if people don't want it there, it's there. So there's a fear that those things are in there. There's a fear that, we were going around and just going to parties and they wanted our ID, regardless of how old we looked or not, to scan. And I thought, that's a way of tracking us. That seems unfair to have to go to a simple party and suddenly be tracked or have your information taken by who knows what and put into a system that we don't even know may be sold, for what purposes.
Without a doubt, yeah.
How fast do we have to work?
Yeah, I mean, it's faster than before. I would not doubt that. I think, like I said, I think the biggest thing is just education at this moment. I think mobilizing communities and coalitions at this moment so we can share information. We need to adapt as much as we can to it because it's here, whether we like it. And I think that's part of what is the double-edged sword of this is, how can we make use of it in ways that can make society better? But I think we need to educate ourselves. We need to adapt advocacy around holding our decision makers accountable when it comes to creating more ethical and rules around usage of AI.
So let's pretend this is the future. You've helped and other people have created stuff and we're on Wakanda. How about that?
Yeah.
What does that look like to you? Like even visually, what did AI do for us?
That's such a great question. I worked on Black Panther, so like, I did a lot of work with.
You were actually in Wakanda.
I actually taught students how to think about technology through Wakanda as a lens when I was at Disney. A lot of the work was thinking about the incredible technology that came out of Wakanda and how students could learn from that.
Like Star Trek. So many
Exactly.
things came out of Star Trek that we have now. So these movies, these storytellers actually provide us a vision of the future.
Completely. I even started a group a couple of years back called the Afrofutures Resource Group, and the goal was to educate Hollywood on how to incorporate more narratives around technology and Afrofuturism into the storylines. And like I said, I think the technology's here. I think it's going to continue to evolve. The people who have power are going to continue to use it and try to scale it. And we have to, as much as possible, get access to that information, find ways that we can get inside these institutions and hopefully disrupt. I'm both an insider and an outsider.
You're like Gemini, this face and that face, this face and that face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good because being an insider and an outsider, you're able to affect both.
Exactly.
Do you feel like you ever have to choose sides?
All the time.
How can you choose sides?
Yeah, I mean, because I think you're navigating these stakeholders, and you want to have authentic relationships with these people. I mean, because we're humans at the end of the day. I think somebody said it best on a solidarity panel. We at the end of the day, these commercial leaders are humans, and I can't just come at them like, hey, you were wrong, point a finger at them. Shaming is not, calling out is not.
It doesn't usually.
Exactly.
It's not
and so
as effective.
Building a relationship with them in a way that is authentic means I also have to understand their place and how they approach this work. The same with the activists when I'm in those spaces and I'm mobilizing and organizing people. I have to understand where they're coming from, their backgrounds and their experiences, and so. There are times when I'm kind of navigating those worlds, and I've done that throughout my time, and I think that's important. Even when I was at Code of Change, I had literally a contact on the White House who was a liaison, and we would share information to understand what was happening on both sides as the cultural strategy was being activated out of the administration and then on the ground with Black Lives Matter and other organizations that were leading racial justice movements.
Do you feel like you could actually do something like this in this administration, though?
No,
Meaning,
I think.
Could you actually go and not feel like people would see you as somebody who was inauthentic if you went? Because there is a conversation that we say that if we don't talk to people, even if but how can we be useful in places where it's the most harsh conditions? I
mean, I think this administration is the most unique. I don't see effective dialogue with folks in the administration at this moment. I think their incentive structure is built to create a blockade and to shut out.
So even if you wanted to, you don't feel like there's the infrastructure there right now?
Not particularly at the federal level.
Okay.
I think if we can talk to local lawmakers, I think there's a set of congressional leaders and stakeholders that we can still have conversations with, but it definitely is not the same as it was 4 years ago.
You have to have people who want to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Got it. Brian, you do a lot of things very well, and we're talking about terms and conditions and fine print. What are your terms and conditions?
Thank you. My terms and conditions are to stay educated, to ensure that particularly young people, I believe in the next generation and their power, is to make sure that they have access to information, to access to experiences that can continue to make sure that they're equipped with the resources and information to be prepared for our next fight. Because I don't think this is at all the end of the work that we're going to be doing. I'm not doing this work for my legacy. I'm doing it for continued generations. And so, it's really just about making sure that they have what they need to continue the fight in this work. Because, it's not going away. So
I love it. Thank you for being you.
Thank you.